What is happening, everybody? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here, and what an absolutely impressive performance it was by the Dolphins this Monday night on ESPN against the Patriots, beating them at home 27-20. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it, and I'm sure many of you weren't. Us to win this game, just all around, just a dominating performance. Especially against such a cerebral team like the Patriots. Was expecting us to be much more competitive, being at home and with the Patriots having guys out on both sides of the ball and Brady being a bit banged up at the moment, but just an absolutely dominating performance against maybe the best team in the league. So proud of the Dolphins. Many guys stepping up. Xavier Howard this week, like last week, 2 interceptions and was just playing, you guys saw it, just absolutely tremendous coverage on Brandon Cooks. Showing us why we took him in the second round last year. And he pretty much just shut down Brandon Cooks, just absolutely dominated him and pretty much took him out of the game. That was the Patriots' main weapon with Gronkowski being out, so Xavier Howard, absolutely balling out of his mind. Another player who was absolutely killing it, like last week against the Broncos, Kenyon Drake. Holy crap, what a game by him. Coming out again with a great run to start the game, 20 yards plus. Just absolutely killing it. 25 carries for 114 yards, 4.6 yards per rush, and also 79 yards receiving on 5 receptions, including that great. He looked like a receiver on the 47-yard pass that he caught from Cutler. If Kenyon Drake keeps this up, he has been getting a pretty heavy workload. He got 23 carries last week and 25 this week. If he can keep it up and continue to play at this incredible level, we got a good chance to win most of our games to end the season. Just Kenyon Drake, I really didn't see it from this guy. Mostly what I saw from this guy was just a speedy guy who can play in space and just make things happen in space and catch balls and things like that. But he's shown that he can just be absolutely explosive, running through the box and just running through the tackles. Really looks a lot like Adrian Peterson. I don't know if he was wearing those elbow sleeves. Paying homage to Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson was balling out of control when Kenyon Drake was in high school. So maybe he was drawing inspiration from Adrian Peterson, but whatever. I'm just carrying on. But Kenyon Drake's just looking absolutely like a dominant running back, and if he keeps this up, who knows what else to expect. Jarvis Landry just killing it as always, catching 2 touchdowns, just bringing that toughness. We absolutely have to bring him back. I'm not against signing Jarvis Landry to a nice contract, what he wants, and maybe trading Devontae Parker this season, this off season, or maybe during next season, because Devontae Parker just isn't cutting it. I know he's got all the talent in the world, and he just has to come around and he has to have that attitude and things like that. But the guy's 6'3", 220 pounds. He should be dominating out there, and he can run like a gazelle. He just doesn't have that toughness. Too many times we see him just the ball, come out of his hands and get a near interception. And also, like we saw, the previous weeks, just not fighting for the ball. And he also doesn't have much toughness. Like, you watch Julio Jones and other guys that are 6'3" and that are strong and fast and powerful, and they're breaking tackles and they got spin moves. They got all kinds of moves out there. And Devontae Parker just seems to not make anyone miss when he catches the ball. Like, even when he catches those slants, like, he just never seems to outrun anybody. Multiple times he had an opportunity to get the touchdown, but doesn't have that toughness. He's very soft out there, and the first tackler, the first contact that he has with a defensive player, he goes down. Like, he never fires through contact like Jarvis Landry does, or Kenny Stills does on occasion. But yeah, Devontae Parker, I don't know about this guy. Let me know what you guys think, but I really think it really isn't working. I really want to see Leonte Carew get more of a chance. Like, you really don't need that big play receiver to be a good team. Like the Patriots have showed that the past couple seasons, and the Panthers and the Seahawks. Like, All you need is a couple solid receivers, a good running game, good offensive line. You really don't need that big play guy. Like, too many teams live and die by that big player. For instance, if the Steelers lost Antonio Brown, they'd be in big trouble. The game, just the whole team would be different, and you really don't need a big body receiver. It really helps a ton, but teams have shown that you really don't need it. If you've got a good running game and good solid receivers that can get the job done, that are tough, that execute their assignments, they play with passion and don't let the team beat them. You can win like that, and you can advance into the playoffs and have successful seasons and get to the Super Bowl. So, really thinking that Devontae Parker is expendable at the moment. He might prove us wrong, but really think he should be traded. Another thing that was absolutely tremendous to see was Jakeem Grant out there. Finally seeing him. I've been absolutely harping on this. I want to see Jakeem Grant out there. This guy is a talented wide receiver. He can get the job done. He runs good routes. He's just a supreme athlete, and he can really get up there for a guy that's 5'6", 5'7", as we saw on that big touchdown, just going up and beating Malcolm Butler. That really got me out of my seat, that one. And Jakeem Grant, he really is a complete receiver. He is a little guy, but you can't hold that against him. He's a supreme athlete. He's got incredible speed and leaping ability. Just an elite athlete. He really needs to get more opportunities. You just got to take advantage of his speed on those go routes and slants. And Jakeem Grant, hopefully this is going to open up the offense more and lead to Jakeem Grant getting more snaps and usage. So that was absolutely tremendous. And also Anthony Fasano's had two weeks in a row he's had solid receptions, so that was awesome to see. Now moving on to the defense, those guys just absolutely dominating, holding the Patriots to respectable 20 points. They're absolutely explosive offense. Granted, they do have some guys missing, but the defense as a whole performed incredibly well. So obviously, like I said before, the main star on defense was Xavier Howard, just absolutely killing it. Just absolute opposite to how he's been playing during the season. He has been playing, he has been competing, and he has played great coverage, but he just hasn't been able to make plays, and it showed. All that work and all that hard play out there is paying off. And Xavier Howard with 4 interceptions the last 2 weeks. Who knows how many he's going to have to end the season, but he's pretty on the down low. He's making a case to be a Pro Bowler. So Xavier Howard is absolutely killing it. Even with Tankersley out, the corners did pretty well, and the secondary. Ultron Werner played great this game. He always had an interception. Bobby McCain played solid on Danny Amendola, kept him to a respectable level of production. Secondary played well. TJ McDonald was showing why we signed him to a 4-year extension, coming down the box, making tackles, just helping out in the secondary, over the top, doing whatever he had to do to get the job done. Just playing like the absolute beast that he is. Rashad Jones had another solid game, just tackles all over, helping out in the run game, covering whoever he had to, just helping out the defense. Kiko Alonso, he did have a couple mishaps. He did stuff I don't know what's going on. He does seem to let guys run past him a lot these last couple games. Don't know what it is. Usually he's a land shark out there and he runs around with great speed and makes every tackle under the sun, but Kiko Alonso played solid, but he could have played better. Lawrence Timmons had a solid game, making multiple solid tackles and just not messing up. Stephon Anthony really didn't play as much. We did see him a bit there on third down, but Lawrence Timmons really did have much more playing time than Stephon Anthony, so you can't really comment on his play. So yeah, and also, can't forget this. The defensive line really played well with Phillips and Sue getting the sack, hitting Brady all game, getting that pressure, Cameron Wake with a solid game. Andre Branch finally coming through, getting some pressures, almost getting sacks multiple times, and those guys were just absolutely killing it. So yeah, that was a team win. What an absolute surprise! Anything can happen from here because we got Buffalo twice and in Kansas City, so they're all winnable games. Hopefully it doesn't pour down, doesn't snow down like an absolute blizzard against the Bills up in Buffalo, but that should be another win there. Granted, nothing's going to be handed to in this league. I'm sure that the Patriots thought they were going to come in and beat us, but we absolutely kicked their butt. So have to take every team seriously. Can't take the Buffalo lightly, and just have to go up there at Buffalo and play absolutely lights out. Kenyon Drake has to get over 100 yards like this game. It's like I said in the preview. Kenyon Drake has to kill it, and Jay Cutler has to play a solid game, and we have to get to a quick start. Granted, we did kick a couple of field goals, but we still were getting into scoring range, and we're getting the job done. So that was great to see. So yeah, feeling much more confident, and feeling extremely positive about the team at the moment. A couple of weeks ago was just the absolute pits. I'm sure a lot of Dolphins had to think about the draft and free agency and things like that, the combine or whatever, but with the way they're playing, hopefully this season can be saved. So that's it for this video. Awesome win by the Dolphins at home. Just that crowd was absolutely tremendous this game. Alrighty guys, fins up, baby!